favorite day of the week. Wednesday.
It is. Also, I was sitting here listening to our theme music, and I was like, I don't even know what he's saying. Is he saying, oh, no, no? Or, oh, yeah. And I was just like, wait, I never thought about that. I have no idea what that guy's saying.
I've never really thought about it either. Should we listen to the end again? Here, let's listen to it really fast. Okay, it's definitely no, no, no.
So it's just no, 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 which is great because no is my favorite word.
Perfect. Well, I've never even thought about that, so I'm glad that we're thinking about that today. All sorts of fun thoughts.
Happy International Women's Day, not when you're listening to this, but as we record this. And as it is International Women's Day, here's my favorite woman, Rebel.
Aww. Tell them about me a little bit.
Her name is Rebel. She has a broken leg.
I'm broken.
She's pretty cool. She has pretty eyes, and a cute nose, and she's my girlfriend.
Okay, so in honor of International Women's Day, my favorite woman is Courtney Shove. And a little bit about Shove is that she has the prettiest whole self, body, everything ever. And she is also really, really talented. And she's like... Like, if imagine if your life was just, like, walking through the woods, right? Meeting Shove would be like you're walking through the woods and you find natural quartz, like, out in the woods.
Oh, my God.
And then you're like, oh, wow, this is so beautiful and amazing. Like, I'm so shook. And then you're like, I want to have it. And then you realize it takes a lot to get it out and take it with you. But then when you have it, it's like your most prized, precious, most wonderful thing that you've ever worked hard for in your life.
And that's a wrap. That was all of Skate Date. Wow, that took a whole hour.
No.
Thanks, babe.
Okay, so what's Skate Date, though?
Skate Date is a podcast about two roller skaters who fell in love.
It's, like, not about us, though. It's, like, by us.
Yeah. Well, you know. Skate Date is a podcast by
Sorry, I didn't mean
two roller
to be
skaters that are sort of in love now.
Oh my gosh, what?
And they were really bored during a pandemic, and they were like, podcast. And we talk about things and issues and questions, comments, concerns that we have about the real world.
And the wheel world.
Yeah, we even help skaters find love, whether it's platonic or amore.
And then we answer your questions, like we're the modern day Dear Abby.
Or like your really hoey aunt that's like, yeah, just get ratchet, YOLO.
Yeah, we're like your fave aunts.
Yeah.
But we talk to you over speakers, which is basically like having your aunt on like speakerphone on the phone.
Yeah. Either call me auntie or big mama. Nothing in between.
You can call me auntie or you can call me daddy.
Some people call me Chocolate Thunder.
Some people call me Zaddy.
All right.
So today we are talking about internet fame.
Internet fame and how it destroyed us.
Yeah, and how we ended up here, which is not really internet famous, but kind of.
With too much power.
Yeah. So that's going to be a fun convo if you want a little insight into our lives and insight into like what it's like to have people recognize you on the reg. Keep listening. But before we get there, we have to do our fake ad. Why do we do a fake ad, babe? Did you just forget?
Yeah. Do that again?
But first, we got to go to our fake ad. What's our fake ad, babe?
Our fake ads are a segment where we whore ourselves out to promote your product. So please, if you're a small business, be our John.
And also, like, we honestly we're running out of ideas for fake ads. So we do need real ads because we don't have any more ideas. They're getting weirder and weirder. Today, I wrote up an entire fake ad, and it was so weird. I read it to Shove, and she was like,
It was like science fiction.
There was like
fantasy
an
erotica.
ending. There was like a cliffhanger. Like, it was great.
There was a protagonist.
And she was like, so delete half of that and that can be our ad. So, yeah. So
It did have a really good heroine in it.
Because it was you?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, all that being said, fake ads.
You ever wish people online... Wait, what? Okay. You ever just follow people online and just think, I wish they could be my skate date?
Yeah, like anytime I'm trying to do a ho-ho, I wish I could clone OJ so she could help me do a ho-ho.
Be a hoe? You already got that down.
Babe.
Kidding. I would want to clone Estro so they could be on their farm and also hanging with me.
Cloning, the newest skate trick.
Not just available as a filter on a Pivo and GoPro.
Clone a skater.
Want a dance skate partner? Clone Just Seconds.
Don't know how to wear pink on any given occasion?
Clone Rebel. Want to have the best skate encouragement and playlist?
Clone Shove. Cloning. We all have 2 skates.
Why not have at least 2 of each of us?
Okay, so the end of that was gonna be like, like, essentially, it ended up being that we, your podcast hosts, were not actually Shove and Rebel, but rather we're Dove and Red Bull, and and like kidnapped Shove and Red Bull. I mean, Rebel. Whoa, Freudian slip. Anyway, so it was dramatic and thematic and deserved, to be on the air, but Shove said no.
And I got the idea because of Clone-A-Willy.
Oh, really? I thought you were going to talk about Clone a Pussy.
No.
I almost did that one time for money.
Of course you did.
Like a long time ago.
Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, get your children out of the room if you are listening to Skate Tape.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. This contains explicit material.
Sorry, Lizzie.
Let's go over to the real world.
Oh, Lord. Internet fame.
Internet fame. What is it? Who has it? Do we want it?
Internet fame's weird, yo.
Internet fame is so weird.
It's like, I think it's really weird for us because we never wanted it.
Yeah, we were never like, you know what we want? Internet fame.
Yeah.
It just fell upon us.
But there's like a lot of people out there that like, that's what they strive for.
Yeah, it's like, you know how a bunch of kids these days, they're like, what do you want to do when you grow up? You know how when we were kids, it was like, be an astronaut or like, be a stripper. And nowadays, kids are like, I want to be a YouTube star. It's like, what?
Yeah, a lot of YouTube stars. I think the millennials were like, I want to be a, what's it called? Like an influencer. And then it turned into like a YouTuber.
Yeah. Or like, I want to be a TikToker.
Oh, yeah. Now it's more TikTok.
So interesting. I do think that it is interesting that, like, you could be, quote, internet famous. P.S. I don't even know what it means to be internet famous. Like, I don't know the number of followers that makes you internet famous versus, like, not internet famous. I don't know at all. But I do think what is interesting about internet fame is that you can be super internet famous, but, like, also nobody can know who you are.
Yeah, so true. Because, like, I've been places where I'm like when we went to that movie premiere, and there was, like, all these influencers hanging out, and I was like, I don't know any of these people.
Literally didn't know who anyone was. And I was like, I'm sure all these people have, like, millions of followers.
No, yeah, definitely. And then, like, they don't know who we are, but it's like, if you're a fashion or, like, a mommy vlogger, or you're all this, like, you can have this huge following, unlike the way we are in the skate community, but any given person is going to be like, who are they?
Yeah, like, niches.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I could probably point out all of the, like, YouTube, like, analytic people if they walked into a room, but nobody else probably would.
Hey, babe, do you know who created influencers and, like, being, like, a big deal on social media?
Paris Hilton?
Yes.
I watched her documentary. So good.
It's all your fault, Paris, that we're all addicted to social media.
Yeah, she is a trailblazer.
Yep.
So wild.
Oh my gosh. So, babe.
Yeah.
How did you get here?
How did I get here? I walked from the kitchen out to the garage.
Oh my God.
Oh, you mean like how did I get like to quote,
all the subscribers on YouTube and the Instagram followers?
You know what? Honestly, I do not know. I don't know what happened. I just was dating you, and then you were like, babe, let's create Instagrams for skating. And I was like, okay. And then we started doing the 365-day skate challenge. And then people just, like, started following us. Like, I felt like it came out of nowhere. And then I just remember, I remember hitting 1,000 Instagram followers. And I did a giveaway of...
oh my God,
I'm embarrassed by this, but that's okay. So I can like rewrite any song in my head, like just to be whatever about anything else, specifically like about whatever I'm doing. I could definitely do that. So I gave away like me rewriting and singing the song. It was a song I had never heard of before, and it was so I had to learn the song, and then I rewrote it, and then I had to sing it, and it was something about eating. I don't know. Anyways. But yeah, so then then I just remember you hitting 10K and that being like a really big deal. And then it was like we went to rollouts and people like knew who we were, and that was weird. And then I started YouTube, and then this year is when my YouTube blew up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even blown up, but it's like a lot more than I had, like, or not this year, 2020.
Yeah, and I feel like once your YouTube started gaining subscribers and views and stuff, that's when people started, like, recognizing you. And it was, like, I feel like there was a lot of questioning of, like, oh, people only, like, are interested in me, as a new Shove, and, like, I'm just in the background and everyone's rude and they don't say hi to me. And then I feel like YouTube was, like, your thing that you were waiting for. While, like, I'm just, like, I don't understand YouTube, so I'm on Instagram. So now it's, like, equally, or like there's people like will be like, oh my God, you have a YouTube rebel, and they're like, don't know who the hell I am. So
that's
like,
not true anymore though, because you're on my YouTube a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I'm taking it over.
Yeah. But yeah, there definitely was that kind of weird thing for a little bit where people were like hella rude to me, and then we're just like, oh my God, Shove, blah 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 blah, and I was like, like, I'm a person too. You don't need to fawn over me, but you should acknowledge my existence. Like, what?
Very true.
Anyways, how do you feel about like internet fame, and like how do you feel like you got to this place?
I think I got here just by being 100% myself. I started it to inspire, and I keep trying to inspire every day. And I think just trying to send that positive energy and that what's the word I'm looking for? Like authenticity.
Authenticity.
Wow. Authenticity. This is just like my favorite murder, because one of them is always like mispronouncing words, and the other one's like this word. But anyways, yeah, just really being my weird up and down mental person. People kind of like saw that and like saw something in themselves, and I think that's kind of what gathered this following. And yeah, now I'm here, and I never really understand it. I think I realized when I hit 1,000 followers, and it had been like a tiny bit of time versus the Instagram I had for 3 years. It took 3 years to get 1,000. And I was like, something's going on. And it just kept growing and growing, and still is. And it's crazy.
It was weird because I remember being told by people that I like super looked up to at the time that like, oh, you're going to be, like, a name in the skate community. And I just remember being like, what? And them being like, yeah, we knew, like, as soon as we saw you and Shove like that, you would be around or whatever. And I was like,
When I got Beach Babe, like, 2018, what was that?
Oh, yeah, it was 2018.
And it was for, like, what I represented. They said for the person that, like, represents the spirit of BCRD and, like, the skate community. And, like, that was crazy. And I think that was the sign. That was, like, the first, like, physical, actual, like, trophy, like, thing I got that was like, wow, like, I'm actually making a difference.
For everyone who doesn't know what that is, BCRD is the roller derby league that we were a part of, and /R, I am /she isn't. And,
I'm in it. I just don't play.
Well, I mean, none of us play right now.
Yeah.
So. But at the end of the year, they give out awards, and she got an award for like most spirited or like what.
No, it was literally called Beach
It was
Babe.
like the embodiment of like what she just said. She explained it really well. I don't know why I'm trying to like. I was trying to explain to them like what that was.
Yeah, you did that.
Okay, cool.
I feel, but yeah, you also asked me like how I feel about it. I think it was always just like an excitement, like, oh my god, it's happening, like bigger platform to like spread my message of body positivity and blah blah blah. And then it kind of turned into me paying too much attention to Instagram and my social media. So sometimes I feel like really bad about it because I get really wrapped into like how many views did I get, how many likes, like how many comments, like, oh, that post wasn't as good as the other one, because now I kind of feel the pressure of like having the Instagram I have can lead to like jobs and things like that. So like if it doesn't keep growing, I won't have the jobs that I get. And then so I feel like there's more at risk now, which keeps me wrapped up like algorithms and stuff. And even content creating, like that takes a lot of time, and then like editing and like making sure like each day I get a good clip. And sometimes it's crap. Other days like I'll spend hours just like, you know, like what am I gonna wear? What am I gonna do in this? And how do I want to edit it? What song? And it's like, how did this become my life? Like, I used to just be a normal person with like a normal job I hated, and like would go to work and then eventually go to school and just like lounge and hang out. And now it's like full with like work, podcast, social media, content creating, and then posting and then engaging. And sometimes it feels like just now it's like not really a job because it's like fun, but then it is kind of work at the same time, I guess. But it's like having a second job that I really like.
I definitely get that because, yeah, I would definitely say that all the things that I do for social media, whether it's like Instagram or podcast or creating videos, like creating videos and editing them every week and then going live every week too, which, by the way, I think I'm going to not do every week anymore because it's like overwhelming me. But it gets really overwhelming. And even though I really, really like making videos and will continue to do it for a very long time, it's like, it's hard sometimes, you know, especially when you're not really, like, Chev says, like, oh, sometimes we can get jobs from it, and that's true, but, like, it doesn't give you the money that equals out to, like, how much work you spend on it. Like, I spend hours and hours and hours on my YouTube every week, and like the amount I get paid is like so small from it, but I do get paid and I'm like super lucky for that. But sometimes it does feel like, oh, I have to, oh my gosh, I just finished editing. Oh, I have to record again. Oh, I have to go live this time. And I think sometimes it feels like when so much of your life is on display, because I definitely think that like a very large portion of my life is on display, sometimes it feels like I don't have anything that's not on display.
Yeah, I get that. And
so like I've been doing some things now on purpose that are just like not for anything else. Like it's not for anyone. It's just for me. And then what's weird is that sometimes I feel bad doing those things. Like I should be recording it. Is that weird? Do you have that feeling at all ever?
No, I don't feel bad if I don't, but sometimes I'll be like a little like, oh man, I should have posted that. Like that would have been cool. But I don't know, like for me it's like content creating is almost like an art form in a way, and it can be fun. Like I feel like I'm playing dress up and then being creative with the way I edit it or like what I'm doing. Like I never feel stressed out while I'm doing it. I feel like it's always like the before part where I'm like, oh, I gotta do this. But like once the camera's on and like I'm just doing my thing, especially if I'm in skates, I'm like, oh man, like I'm just having fun right now. Like I'm just vibing. And then I finish it and then I'm like, oh, now I gotta edit it. And then it's all this stuff. So it's like a little bit, I feel like it's like a roller coaster of emotions.
I think that's why it's been hard for me recently, because it hasn't really been feeling like that until recently. And I think it's just because I don't get to skate, and yet I'm like making all these videos about skating and like skate community, which I think is an interesting thing too, is like, how do you deal with your, like your entirety of your online platform is about skating, and then you get injured and you can't skate. And you're like,
yeah. Isn't it crazy how like everyone that's a skater, like they have skate Instagrams, like 90% are just, we only post skating. Every once in a while I'll see a picture where I'm like, just someone like, they're just posing in shoes, or like they're just hanging out, and you're like, that's weird, who's this? Like,
yeah, every once in a while I think that, like, what's going on?
Yeah, like when I posted that photo the other day, you took of me, and I'm like in docs, and everyone's like, I was starting to think that you just never took your skates off, like it just looks wrong. Like,
yeah, like, what, those are your feet? That's weird.
You're not as tall as I thought. I've had people ask me, they'll DM me, and they're like, how can I become internet famous like you? How can I be so big in the skate community? Like, how do I get followers? Like, all this stuff. And I'm just like, well, like, one, I can't tell you. Like, I don't even know how I got here, but usually my go-to message is like, just live your life. Like, just do it. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it makes me nervous when people, like, that's their goal. Cause it's like, I want to make sure they know that there's more important things out there. Or like, you shouldn't feel bad. I feel like those are the people that are going to feel bad if they don't make it. Like, it's just going to be worse because they put such a value in it. And it, like, yeah, I'm not going to take for granted the opportunities I get because of it, because that's awesome. But in the end of the day, like, I was just as happy when I didn't have a huge following.
Yeah, I think that the advice I would give is to find what makes you the most happy, or like what gaps you see, like things that you wish were there to help you, and then do that. So like, if you think that not enough, I don't know, tutorials are being made via Reels, then, and you like wish that there were more, then be the person that does that. Like, be original and do something that you think will help others, and then hopefully you'll help other people. But like, my whole like mantra surrounds like, I just do things that I want to help. Like, I literally just make videos because I think that they will help other people, and that's like the reason why I do things. Like, I post videos of myself falling all the time because I want people to see people falling, you know? Like, I'm posting a bunch of stuff about me being injured because I don't think enough people talk about it. Like, people get depressed and then slink back into the shadows, which I don't blame them for. But like, when I first got injured, I wish that there was a bunch of videos I could watch, and there wasn't any. So I made a bunch. And yeah, it was hard, but like, hopefully they'll help someone someday. So do what you enjoy, but also do things that will help other people. And the skate community is all about giving back to the skate community, I think.
Yeah.
It's like building it.
But I mean, if you're just yourself, like, you're going to do that automatically. I think it's like, there are people that like do those things because they know it'll pay back. You know, like,
that's true.
And I think like, that's why I say just be yourself. If it's going to happen organically, like, you're going to come into the community a good person, and you're just going to start doing it. You're going to see something wrong, and you're going to try to fix it or make things a little bit better and easier. The people that don't do anything but then see that other people are growing from doing that, and so then they do it for that reason, that's when it's like a problem.
I also just think that like, and this is something that I've learned from like YouTube or whatever, is that if you're doing something just because it's gonna help you become famous or whatever, and not because you're actually passionate about it, you're gonna burn out. And then you're gonna be like annoyed because you're gonna get famous maybe, and then you'll be stuck doing this thing that you don't like doing.
Sometimes I wish that I could go back to just being a normal skater.
Why?
And that would be because sometimes I miss just like skating to skate and like putting my headphones on, and like, since I am socially awkward at first, just chilling and no one even approaching me, maybe just waving because they see I have skates on, and they do too. Excuse me. And just like, you know, doing my own thing or like meeting up with people and then they just talk to me like friendly at the skate park or like at a rollout. And now it's came more where like if as soon as I get out of my car before like I'll be in my skates for 5 seconds and then someone will like want to take a picture and then another person will want to take a picture and things like that. And sometimes it's like I like it, like no, I like it all the time, but then sometimes it's just like I want to be like free, like peace of mind, or like I want people to see me and not get nervous around me. I just want them to like treat me like a normal person, like anyone else. And I feel like it gets kind of lost to an extent because the conversations change from what they used to be to like what they are now. And I'm not saying like, hey, don't talk to me, blah, blah. I just notice like a shift, like when you gain this like internet fame, which is like crazy. 'Cause, like we're not famous, but people say that. But so like I feel like since on Instagram, a lot of times when I post something, even though I'm trying to work on it, people will be like, oh my God, it's great, you're doing so good. And I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna go on a Facebook skate group, and I just posted like, hey, I'm really like trying to work on this trick, does anyone have advice? And not a single person like helped me like with the advice I needed. They were all just like, oh my God, I didn't know you were in this group, like blah blah blah. And it was all like compliments, which was cool, but I was just like, oh, I don't want anyone, like I was hoping no one really like thought about who I was here because it's Facebook and I'm never on Facebook. And I felt like, oh, maybe they'll just treat me like a normal skater and just give me more skate talk back. And not a single person did that. And I was like, dang, not even here.
Yeah, that's hard. I definitely see that happens, and I don't know. I also think that there's like this weird expectation or pressure, like people will be like, oh, you're such a good skater, and it's like I'm actually not. And just because I can teach skating doesn't mean I'm this like incredible skater. And I definitely think people like associate like internet fame or like internet fame within the skate community with like being a really good skater, and like neither of us are that great at skating. Like we're decent, but like that's it. And so it's like weird because sometimes I struggle with like struggling, especially this was a lot more when we were in person. Like I would be like trying to learn something from someone else, and then people expect you to be able to show off or something, and you're like, don't you watch me? Like I suck. Like I'm not actually that good.
Yeah, we got spirit, not talent.
Yeah. We got soul. We got heart.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many assumptions that are made of us now, and like, I don't know. It's like I understand tabloids now. Like I've gone on Reddit and seen like weird things. Like we've talked about it before. Like there'll be posts where people are like talking, like conspiring about like how much money we make and our jobs, and like that Rebel's a college professor and like has $1 million. Like
and like all this stuff, and it's just weird.
Yeah, it's like interesting because I feel like as soon as you get a large following or any kind of like fame, even if it's like we're F-listers, people just think like you're untouchable. Like they'll talk so much stuff and then like they're like, oh, whatever, like you can take it. And it's like, I'm still a normal person. Like I just speak out, like I'm still opinionated, but now like 60,000 people are hearing it, and then like versus just like 20, but a lot of people are opinionated. But like for us, like it's just like, I don't know, like people get involved with our lives, and I think it's like, yeah, it's our fault because we put all our lives out there.
People also think that they're closer to us than they are. I definitely think that people assume that there is like a more of a relationship there than actually exists. Like there are a lot of people that I'm actually friends with and I talk to, but like a lot of people will message us or message me at least and like act entitled to, I don't even know what, to like specific answers or, like really in-depth questions about my personal life. And I'm like, why would I, like, that's weird for you to ask that or like act entitled to, I don't know, just different things, which I think is, I know that wasn't very specific, but I don't want to give any like specific messages that I've received.
I know that, yeah. No, I've talked about it before where it's just like, people just expect us to, like, we have to be nice and we have to give our time 24/7. If we don't reply fast enough, then it's like we're a bitch. Like,
yeah, and rude. I have people that, like, because in public, like, I'm oblivious in public and often very focused on whatever I'm doing. And I've had several people be like, oh, you know, Rebel's rude and like a total bitch and like all this stuff. And it's just like, I was just in the moment, like I was just being a regular person doing regular people things. And like, I didn't notice you, or I brushed you off because I was literally like studying for my comprehensive exams. And, you know, you're going on the internet telling everyone that I'm a horrible person. And I'm like,
Well, yeah, that's kind of like the pressure we feel, though. Like, I feel like you touch base on that, like, the pressure to perform. And I feel like there's pressure to, like, keep the account going and keep the good message. I feel like there's pressure to make sure I don't lose myself. Like, that's the pressure I have on myself, not from, like, the social media and everything. But I want to make sure that I don't lose sight of, like, how I was when I started Instagram and the purpose of my Instagram. And, like, I want to keep that going. Like, yeah, if, like, little ads come up here and are like, oh, you could tell, like, I got, like, a cool thing that someone had me post, that's the only time I stray from it. And that's not even really straying, because I still make sure that I tie that back to body positivity in the skate community. And then I feel the pressure, though, to, like, make sure I'm posting and, like, engaging and, like, all that stuff. But I think that's just, like, I'm literally addicted to Instagram.
yeah, I mean, I definitely feel pressure, and I definitely put it on myself. But I think I think that we're pressured also by the algorithm. You know, like if you are not playing to the algorithm's favor, like your stuff isn't going to come up. And when you see it as like, oh, this could potentially be a job for me, it's like, I don't know, like, do you fall into that? Is it bad to fall into that? I don't know. Like, is it, to what extent? I think that there's a bunch of gray area that, you know, it's not necessarily good or bad to like be really putting your whole life on social media, whatever social media it is. But I do think that there are some like side effects that will impact you.
Yeah. My honest feelings about it, I guess, are that I'm still happy with it. Like, obviously it's not going to last forever. I think my only thing would be, like, if you do recognize me out wherever you are, just say hi to me. I love when people do, like, say hi to me. I know, like, there's also, like, another side of it where, like, people won't say anything, or they wait until, like, we leave the skate park, and then I'll be like, oh my god, like, hi, like, how are you? And we're like, we've been skating the same spot for like an hour. And we're just in the skate community just like you. Like, we want to skate with you. We want to, like, talk to you. So don't be afraid. Like, I know, like, it could feel that way, because I remember when I first started skating, like, if I was, like, around Estrogen or, like, who else? Oh, like, Lady Trample, like, all these people at RollerCon, like, being next to them and be like, oh my god, that's blah blah blah, and be like so afraid not to make eye contact.
I remember doing that too.
Yeah, like, it's so funny when you think about it, and now you're like, oh, I've talked to these people now, and like, they're just human. You realize they're just humans, literally just like just that. Humans, yeah. And I think once, like, we reached a spot where we're like, oh my god, like, I get it now, and like, we can't really hold anyone on a pedestal. But yeah, I'd say that's the only thing. Like, I don't bite. I'm not going to be annoyed if you say hi to me. I know I said, like, sometimes I just want to vibe, but at the end of the day, I'm still grateful when people do say hello and they recognize me, and I feel very honored.
You should always say hi to me, because I want to talk to everyone, and tell me your whole life story.
Don't say hi to her. She'll chatty Cathy.
I love hearing about you and everything. Like, I love it when people talk to me. I love meeting random people or people who I know just via the internet. I love meeting in person, because in person is my bread and butter. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that's why you go to Trader Joe's, to talk to the people.
I literally go to Trader Joe's to talk to the people who work there. They also have good food, but like, I definitely go because they're so nice and they want to talk to me. So if you want to talk to me, you should definitely talk to me. And I'm super, super grateful, because like, for me, YouTube gives me the ability to create something that I'm proud of every week. And I think that that's awesome. I haven't had that level of challenge, one, to be like challenged to learn all these different techie stuff and editing and all this sort of stuff. And like, there's so much more for me to learn. Like, my videos are nowhere near perfect. And like, I haven't had that creative outlet for so long. And so I'm just so grateful to have the creative outlet and also to be creating things that are helping other people. I'm just so grateful. So I love it.
I know that you've had your Instagram taken away once by a hacker and once by Instagram itself, twice. But let's say you woke up tomorrow, Instagram was disabled forever, just taken off, and so was YouTube.
That would suck. I would be sad. One, I would feel pretty lonely because I think I get a lot of like connection with YouTube and Instagram. Like, I feel like that's how I connect to a lot of the skate community, especially during this panorama. But I think that I would just, go back to teaching. I'm still teaching. I haven't stopped teaching. I don't know.
Versus me, like, I would literally cry and like fall into depression because, one, I'm like a crackhead and Instagram's crack. Two, like you said, like, I formed so many friendships over Instagram that like I would freak out because like I don't have any of these people's phone number. It's like,
that's
you don't
true.
think about
like,
that.
I don't have connections.
Like everyone's
actually.
just their Instagram. Like, unless like I think like a couple have like randomly emailed me, but I would have no way of finding those people. It would just be like, oh my god, they're gone. Like hundreds of people that I've made like close conversations with, and then literally like the thousands I have, like I've probably talked to here and there. Like, I try to answer like every message. Rebel hates it because I'll sit there on my phone just replying. Like, I'll make that time, and I would be so bummed about that. Then I would be bummed about losing money for the random like things I do get.
That's true.
And then I would feel like, oh, now I'm never like how like my affiliate code with Moxie would go away. Like, I feel like I would have, like, financial issues, like, friendships. Like, I feel like I don't really know how to make friends, which is lame, but, like, the older you get, it gets really hard. And I feel like Instagram is, like, how I can easily talk to someone and open that doorway to friendship. And, like, in person, it takes me a month, at least. And then Instagram, like, within 30 minutes, I'm like, oh, we're best friends now.
I take my answer back and double down on whatever you said.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, I just feel like, yeah, that would suck.
The reason why I was so flippant as my answer is because YouTube is not going to get deleted. Like, it's the second most popular search engine on the internet. Like, yeah, like, it's just not going to get deleted. And so I feel like I have a hard time formulating an actual answer to that question.
Because you can't see it in reality.
Because I cannot see it as a reality. Like, and with Instagram, if Instagram ever gets deleted, it's because there's another social media to replace it. And everyone will find you on that social media because there will be some overlap. Because unlike MySpace and Facebook, when we were all still, like, getting used to everything, Facebook literally still exists.
Yeah,
so, like, if you needed
Instagram.
Yeah, but they existed before Instagram, and, like, it, like, translated over. And so I just feel like if that was to happen, like, there would be another social media platform that you could find them on.
I used to really freak out about, like, and get anxiety about, like, oh my god, like, Instagram just disappear, or, like, my account could just disappear one day. Like, each time that happened to you, like, I was low-key, like, freaking out. Like, I kept checking mine, I'm like, okay, it's still on, it's still on.
Meanwhile, telling me not to panic and saying I was overreacting.
No, but I kept saying what I tell you. Each time I said, hey, if anything, it's fine, because YouTube's your thing, and all your YouTube subscribers are there. And then I even told you, like, if Instagram disappeared, that's all I have.
Yeah, but, like, that's true from a money standpoint, but that's not true from a connection standpoint, because YouTube is very one-sided.
Yeah.
Because it's like comments, but nobody can direct message you. So you're not having those one-on-one conversations that you do have on Instagram. Yeah. So it's like, it's different.
Yeah, so I was going to say, like, I felt like that. And then on my past birthday in January, I did a shroom trip. And I was like, in the beginning, like, I started, like, freaking out thinking about like that we were being recorded for like a live, and I was like, why are we live right now? Like everyone's gonna know we're in shrooms. And I was like, I don't know, like, and I kept thinking about like social media, and I went on this weird like spiritual thing where I was like, oh my gosh, like you're giving too much of yourself away, like you shouldn't be doing this, like it's all bad, like what do you leave for you, and like you're just like, it doesn't even matter, it's all just gonna disappear one day, and like you're gonna be like, oh, I put so much of my life into that. But then it turned into like you're making all these connections and you're inspiring all these people and like you're making a real difference. So if you stop that, you stop someone from growing that you added water to that seed. And I was just like, dang.
Yeah, that's really good.
But yeah,
I love that. I think that's a great way to end the real world. So let's head on over to the wheel world. Okay, the wheel world. What are we talking about now?
Well, sometimes you get hurt really bad. And then you put your skates back on and you're like terrified that you will hurt yourself that same way again.
Yeah, has that happened to you before?
Yes. I am still afraid to attempt any kind of sharp carve because the last time I did that, years ago, like 2-3 years ago, 2 years ago actually, I went down a little too fast, got launched, and I went really high up the transition, higher than I had ever been, probably to this day because of the speed that was unexpected. And so I had to do a sharp carve, which before this date I was able to do. And as I turned and I hit that zero gravity towards the top of the coping, instead of coming back down, the right way, I literally fell from the sky and landed on my inner knee, and I felt a pop, and it was just like, it hurt so bad. And then I was definitely in shock, and this is how I know I was in shock, was because, I did the typical where someone yelled across the screen. It was at Woodward, and someone yelled, "Are you okay?" Because I just heard it, and I was like, "I'm fine." And it took me a minute. I got up, I skated out, and then I found Rebel, and I was like, oh, I hurt my knee really bad. And it seemed fine. I'm like starting to limp a little bit. We go to eat. I sit there for we were there for 2 hours at the restaurant. And then get up. And as soon as we get back to the room, I literally couldn't even walk up the stairs without wanting to cry. It was so bad. We just had to leave. I was like, I can't even. It sucked because it was after the first day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can't skate at all now. And I had so many goals. I had started dropping in finally. Haven't really been comfortable dropping in since then. I won't sharp carve since then because it hurt so bad. And what's crazy is I try to do it, but it's my body literally won't turn into it. It's my physical fear. It's just in there, and it's I get frozen.
Yeah, I am. Well, one thing that I'm really scared of doing, because I didn't get injured, but I almost really, really got injured, is I stalled and then jumped and turned 180 back in, and I twisted my ankle really intense, and a lot of weight got on it. And ever since I did that and I fell, and it was out on our ramp. It was out on our ramp, and ever since I did that, I'm so scared to try that move. I literally can't try it because I'm so scared that I'm going to hurt myself. And right now, I don't even want to put skates on at all, if we're being completely real. I'm low-key terrified of skating again.
Yeah, Rebel broke her fibula.
Yeah, I broke my leg 6 weeks ago, and, people keep asking, oh, are you, when are you coming back to skating? And my doctor said that I could come back maybe, he said, in at least a month. And I am in no rush because I am so scared. I do not know what I'm going to do when it comes to skating. I feel like I will maybe be okay, but I'm really scared, especially of being on a ramp again. So I don't know what to do I don't know what the solution is. I really don't.
Yeah. Oh, I also, the large ramp at Houghton, that big, what is it, a pyramid? I don't know what you would call it. But the big one. Yeah. What's stupid is, I've made it down that thing twice, maybe 3 times, for sure twice. Like when I was still like new at skate parks. And then one day I go back with Rebel and they're like, yeah, do it. And for some reason it was freaking me out, but I was like, oh yeah, I've done it before. So I go down and for some reason my feet kept like, wouldn't stay staggered and I fell 4 times. And I remember my like butt was like bleeding. And then I was just like, I'm done. Like, I'm just gonna give up. Like, I don't get it. I'm curious. I don't know what's going on. I remember Rebel kept yelling at me like, your feet are catching up with her. Stay staggered.
Yeah, you were literally going down like with your feet right next to each other.
Yeah, and I don't know what was happening. It was like had been a long time since like park skated. It was like I had lost it all, and I remember just being so pissed. And to this day, I will not go down that thing because I just remember that I kept like slamming on my butt and then sliding a little bit, and slam on my butt and slide down the thing, and it just kept happening. And I was like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, one time I was going down at Houghton too. I went down one of those that has like a ramp and then a little bit of a break and then another ramp. And the second ramp is like really, really steep, even though it's super short, like it's not high at all. And I fell and I landed on my wrist and I passed out. And then they had to stop one of the guys selling waters and ask for like some ice from him. And it was like one of my first times at the skate park. And now I can't go down those things because I'm so scared of it.
No, but one of them, I'm not gonna lie, that's the same one. Like, I slammed my head down. And I remember thinking, like, all the ones are fine, but it's a little too, like, vert or something.
Too vert, yeah.
Like, it's like, meant for skateboards.
Yeah, it's definitely not, I don't know.
And I freaking was just, like, feeling ballsy because, like, my friend was just going down everything and, like, she made it down it. Or, like, maybe I thought, but I was like, oh, this is just steeper, whatever. And I go down it, and literally, my feet just ended up above me, and I slammed my head down so hard that, like, I think it was, like, Ash and Jess just stood there and looked at me. They're like, are you okay? And I was like, like, you know,
oh my gosh, like, yeah, you're just, like, in so much pain.
Like, is this a concussion? Like, every time I slammed my head down, I had to have that pause and, like, concussion? Or just, like, wah-wah feeling.
Yeah. One time, yeah, when I'm at Green, at Michael Green, the skate park, I have a really hard time stalling on that ramp because I have so many times just tried to stall and then my skates just miss the coping and then I fall back into the thing backwards.
Your journey of learning how to stall was just, like, so painful to watch every clip because you were going to the skate park, like, every other day that summer.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And every time she was overshooting it, so her feet would go up in the air or, like, right over and across the coping, like, onto the deck.
So bad.
And then she would, like, somersault back, or she would, like, slam her butt cheek on the coping. There was a lot of videos of that.
Yeah. So bad. Anyways, so I don't know what that was. We didn't give you any advice, but we did reminisce a little bit about
well, the
being
point
hurt.
as an advice, really, I think it's just saying, like, hey, it's real. Like, whenever there's, like, a certain place or thing that, like, effed me up while skating, I swear, whenever I'm, like, skating and I go back there, like, even if it's just, like, somewhere I fell in the street, it's almost like in a scary movie where it's, like, freeze frame and then it's, like,
oh my gosh.
And all of a sudden it's like super zoom where you're like zoom on the little thing you fell on, like, and you're just like, ah. And it feels like it went on for 5 minutes, but it really was just like a quick glance. Like, that's how I feel every time I see something that's taking me down in my skates.
Yeah, every once in a while, you know that TikTok where they're like doing something, then all of a sudden they're like, and they're like thinking.
Can you explain what that was to the people listening?
So it's like they're doing regular stuff and then all of a sudden they make a weird face, like disgusted and like weirded out, and then they're going to do another thing and then they're also disgusted and weirded out. The one that I've seen the most is like a girl like washing dishes or like, you know, doing her homework or whatever, and then it just goes, me when I randomly remember that I used to have sex with men, and then they're just like doing things, and then all of a sudden they make like a disgusted remembering face. So I feel like it's like that all throughout the day, every time I hurt myself in the morning at the skate park. And I just like me remembering when I hurt myself at the skate park, like sitting down at the office chair and being like, oh, there's huge rash there because God. I just like ate shit this morning at the skate park.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's hard to get over those fears. Like, there's been a couple I've been able to do. Like, I can't can't even think of what exactly, but there's been a few things and I'm like, okay, that hurt. And then I'll like go ahead and do it again. It's like when you just fall and it's like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And you get back up, you're cool. But then when you fall and you're like, ooh, that took a minute to recover. It's really hard to go back to it unless like, I think it helps me if I have other people encouraging me. And then, like, I might be able to get it. Or, like, sometimes I just need time alone and be like, talk it out. Like, you're not going to take me down.
Yeah.
But, like, the big hurts, it's been hard for me to, like, try to do it again.
Yeah. All right. I love that. Let's move on to Find Your Skate Date.
Okay.
So Find Your Skate Date is a segment where we connect people. We connect skaters to other skaters. And it could be a platonic connection or a romantic connection, or you're trying to build a skate crew. We want to connect you to other skaters. So all you have to do to be featured on this part of the skate date is to just email us at dearskatedate@gmail.com and send us a little bio about yourself and your pronouns and where you're located and a picture of yourself. Promise we're not stalking you. And then we'll post it on our Instagram. We'll talk about you. We'll talk you up. So,
Babe.
What?
I heard we have a really special Find Your Skate Date today.
We do. Today's Find Your Skate Date is Bowie.
Wait, are we talking about the one and the only Bowie, the star of Queer Girl Straight Skates?
Yes, Bowie, the man of our household. Yes, Bowie, 9 years old, K9, he, him pronouns. November 8th is his birthday, which makes him a Taurus?
No, not even close. Taurus is April.
Sorry, I just think of him as a Taurus because he's so bullheaded. Wait, what is he? He is a...
When's his birthday?
November 8th? Is he a Virgo?
No, he's a
he's a
Scorpio.
Sag. Oh, he's a Scorpio. That makes so much sense. Okay, Bowie is a Scorpio. Okay, let me start that over. Okay, Bowie, 9 years old, K9, Scorpio, he, him pronouns, French, loves to sleep, but has really, really bad farts. He doesn't actually skate, but he will fangirl over you and all of your moves super hard. He is pretty clingy and really loud, but makes up for it with his adorable noises and really aggressive cuddles. Oh, and most importantly, he hates other dogs and animals, so his skate date needs to be a human.
Woof, woof.
Life is rough without a skate date. Could you be his? If you want to be Bowie's skate date, hit him up at Bowie Mang Scott on Instagram. Okay, next up is Dear Shovel. Oh, wait. Hey, wait, what's Dear Shovel?
It's when you write a letter to your guardian needing supplies.
Okay.
Dear Shovel is where our viewers and listeners write in with their questions and we attempt to give good advice.
I thought that Dear Shovel was something else.
No.
No. You missed it when we weren't recording. Shove said, Dear Shovel is when...
Anyways, what's that Dear Shovel?
Okay, so we have a Dear Shovel today. It says, Dear Shovel, first, I love your podcast so much it inspires me to put myself out of my comfort zone, but I still need more help with how to get new friends. I am tween that wants lots of guy friends, but it's hard because I am afraid to put myself out there because I'm afraid of being rejected. And it's also hard because, one, I live in a place where there aren't a lot of kids that only know me as a weird, social, awkward little kid that only other social, awkward kids hang out with. And two, I live in a small, very small town, very, all caps. 3, COVID-19. Have a lovely day, ladies. Small town tween Maine girl. Wait, I love the sign-offs of these. They're so cute.
I love them.
Dear small town tween Maine girl.
if you figure out if Rebel's about to give you some good advice and it works for you, can you slide in my DMs and let me know? Because I too do not know how to make new friends. I am currently trying to make friends with someone who, like, I've hung out, sort of. Not even, like, hung out, but, like, have met, like, at places and had casual conversation. And, like, now we text, but it's also, like, a once a week thing. And I'm like, I don't understand how to make friends. Like, I'm like, every time I'm like, oh, I text him right now, is that too much? Am I being annoying? Like, and then, like, I feel like they're the same way. And it's like, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I already get over it because I'm just like, my head's just like, I think they hate me. And I'm like, what do I do? It's like, I can't be like, do you want to come hang out or you want to grab a drink together? Because, yeah, you're right, COVID. And it's like, do you want to, like, have a Zoom meetup? And it's weird.
No, that's not it. That's not the move.
You can't do that when it's
when
a
you're
new
starting.
friend.
No, that's not the move. This is the move. This is the move. Okay. This could be horrible advice. This could be good advice. I'm not sure. The move is find something that you're both interested in. So, first off, don't go based off people you're interested in. Go off things that people are interested in general. So you have commonalities with other people. Don't just be like, oh, those people seem really cool. And find something that they're interested in and then become interested in. Find something that you're already interested in and see if there's anyone else who's interested in it. Because your life will be a lot happier if you have commonalities with your friends as opposed to just like trying to be hanging out with people who you think are cool. So that's lesson 1. Lesson 2 is once you have that commonality with someone and you know it, even if they don't know it yet, then you want to spark conversation specifically about that topic. So whether it's like asking them for advice about something that's within that topic or like noticing something cool about what they're doing that has to do with that topic. So like if it's skating, for instance, like maybe talk about a new board that came out or a new like something that a skater did on social media that was really dope. Like, so finding some sort of commonality and bringing up something cool. And so you have something to talk about. It's not just like, hi, I'm Rebel. And then just like not knowing. But there is something magical about like meeting people and then exchanging a bunch of memes. Like that, like really works. And then if you have that activity in common, like you're going to have similar like memes about that activity you're both going to get. And then when the world does open up, you can do that activity with them.
But back it up. Where are you meeting these people in this really tiny town, babe, that they're just like,
oh shoot,
trying to find out what they have in common?
And you're going to use social media. You're using social media. That is the way to do it in the tiny town. Because you can't just go out and stand on the corner and be like, what's up? But you could just go to the park and like do whatever it is that you like doing at the park. I'm assuming this is an outdoor activity. If you are a person who likes like video games and you need to find people to game with, like there's got to be some sort of like location
Rebel
detector.
trying to act like she knows about
I don't know anything about video games, yeah, but I imagine that you could like connect with people that are close to you. I don't know, but my thought was I was thinking like on the basis of skating, like if you're just out skating.
I think find a Discord. Wait, can tweens be on Discord?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
find a Discord. Like the Queer Girl Straight Skates Discord.
Yeah,
but like there
Discords
are tons of Discords.
Based on things that you're into. There's groups, like, you just kind of gotta reach out. Sometimes you'll be surprised, though, like, on Instagram, like, who you'll find, like, who you'll relate to.
I suggest sending in a profile to dearskatedate.
No, we can't do that with kids.
Oh, just kidding. I don't know. It's really hard.
We start doing skate dates for like kids, and then
I mean, we just did one for a dog.
And then the parents are like, are you pimping out my child? Like, why is there a Singles ad with my child on your Instagram?
I was just thinking like this. We did it for our dog, so I thought.
No, maybe. I'm just thinking about how like weird that would be.
Yeah, that would be really weird. We shouldn't do that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could set up a table, since you're at a super small town, maybe you could set up a table and like you could obviously have a mask on, and then you could have a change my mind sign, and then you could have signs that say things that you care a lot about.
What?
And then maybe people will walk up and try and change your mind.
Oh my gosh. It's like easy when you're skating and it's not COVID, because at least you have that in common and you can start like asking them to show you a cool trick that they're doing, or like be like, hey, do you want me to film you doing your trick or something? And there's like, it's easier when like the world's open, or like you meet at, well, you probably don't have rollouts there. I don't know. Like, I hope that you're not the only roller skater, because that would suck.
I don't think you are, because I know of other roller skaters that live in Maine. So I know you're not, but I don't know if you're like near. I don't know.
Yeah,
if you're
I heard
near
it's the
anybody.
main place where people roller skate.
Really?
Yeah, it's the main place where people mainly roller skate.
Wow. Wow.
And eat lobster.
You know what? Lobster and oysters sound so bomb right now.
Go to the oyster bar, skate to the oyster bar, and meet your friends.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I feel like I wish I had better advice here, but COVID thing, it really has me all messed up.
Life thing, it really has me messed up.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry if that wasn't helpful, but I hope you at least got a laugh about it.
Bowie will be your friend.
We'll be your friends.
We'll be your friends.
Yeah. I want to end it on a happier note, but I just can't think of anything.
You know, sometimes it's hard to make friends, but I feel like at the right time, the right people, just you find them and they find you. And I know it might seem like a long time before you start having new friends, but trust me, it will happen.
Yes. All right, speaking of friends, we have a friend named Sultry Nymphet who gave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you, Sultry Nymphet. Sultry Nymphet says, hilarious duos. Screw Fridays. Wednesdays is where it's at. I love tuning into Skate Date on my way home from work. It's something I look forward to and puts me in a happy mood. Shove and Rebel are the best duo to uplift your days. Thank you, Shovel, for being so open, funny, and allowing us to get a little more insight on your thoughts and opinions. Much appreciated.
Whoop, whoop. Thank you.
Sultry Nymphet, you are... 1, what a classy name. And 2, you're awesome. We love you. Thank you. If you want to be shouted out on our podcast, just give us a little 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Give us a little feedback, a little something that we can read and enjoy.
Definitely.
Thanks so much for listening to this podcast.
My nose is cold.
Really? You've been so much colder than me recently. Like, I'm literally not cold.
I'm getting old. You get really cold when you're old because you're closer to death.
I don't think so. I feel like when you get really old, you have hot flashes.
Yeah. Those will come too. I'll be freezing and then I'll be hot.
Will you be like hot and then cold?
Yes and then no.
In and then out?
Up and then down.
I mean,
okay, things are
first,
getting weird. Things are getting weird.
She kissed a girl and she liked it,
Oh my
and
gosh.
now...
It was already getting weird.
Okay.
I think we just need to get out of here.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I loved this skate date, although we were a little awkward because that's what awkward does.
Sometimes you have a cringy date. It happens.
And then you decide whether you'll come back or not.
Do I like cringe?
You do. You do like cringe.
Till next Wednesday.
Okay, bye. What are the big glasses for, babe?
To hide the fact that I'm high right now.
All right.